Hello, everybody. Hello, Ashley. Jax West from Stephen Avery Project and MAM Gossip and Justice with Jax on Facebook, and then Justice with Jax here on YouTube. Yay! I'm also considering starting a website. I know my husband has set up websites for me before, and but they're done in such a way that I really can't do anything with them. It's always I have to ask him to do something or whatever with it. Once upon a time, I used to have a pretty successful website that I ran 100% by myself. And so that would be easier for me if I had something that will be where I can put stuff up myself. And the reason I would be doing that is I'm getting more and more annoyed with Facebook that I just got put in another Facebook timeout. Um, and Facebook won't tell me why or how long or give me the opportunity to refute it. So as I become more and more pissed off with Facebook, I need to start setting myself up so um I have my own places and not stuck with whatever Facebook's going to do. So, today we are to discuss the Pam Hupp case. Don't know if you all have now watched the Dateline episodes and the mini series that aired that was The Truth About Pam that starred Renee Zellweger. And we were going to discuss it. Hello, Kimmy. We were going to discuss it last week, but then I ended up spending the whole hour talking about Melissa Kaluzinski, which every live I end talking about Melissa. So I'll be talking about her again today. So, said our live this week would be on the Pam Hupp case. And I didn't take any notes for this one. I'm just going off the top of my head and the things that came to my mind in watching it. One thing I really want to mention that I find very bizarre is that so Pam Hupp, for those that don't know the Pam Hupp case, if you tune into this, Pam Hupp is a horrible person who murdered multiple people. I don't think we're ever going to be sure how many people she's murdered, but it was always for financial gain for herself. So there was this friend of hers that she makes it out like they were really close, but when the woman's husband doesn't really know you, um how much are you friends? I don't know. So but this woman was going through chemo. She had breast cancer, was told it was terminal. And she also had two teenage daughters. And but the teenage daughters were raised by her husband, and so they thought of her husband as their dad. And so it was very weird that Pam was like demanding that she be the one on this particular night to drive her home. It's the Debbie show. Um, because so the woman, I can't remember her name right now. So somebody remind me of the victim's name. Um, she was at her mother's house, and her husband has a regular game night with his friends. So, and the husband had called her and was perfectly okay with going to pick her up after game night and bring her home. But it was Pam was adamant that she's going to be the one to take her friend home. When he gets home, his name is Russ, correct? When Russ gets home, he finds his wife dead on the floor with a knife sticking out of her neck. he doesn't know in that moment because, who knows where your mind all goes to in this horrible moment when you arrive home and this is what you see. He's instantly thinking that she's killed herself because she's talked about doing it before. She's Cancer's no joke. It's no fun to live with that. Um or any illness that affects your life. My brother-in-law killed himself because he was on um whatchamacallit. Sup, cat? Um I blank on stuff all the time. His kidneys had gone bad. A dialysis, there you go. His kidneys had gone bad, and his sister had donated him a kidney, and then eventually his body was rejecting that, and so he was on dialysis. I mean, if we want to get into drama, his dialysis nurse, who was married, but she manipulated him into thinking they were in a relationship, and he started taking care of her and giving her money and doing things for her. But in the meantime, her husband lives at her house, but she was telling my brother-in-law that, they're estranged and they're separated and can't afford the two places, blah blah blah. um so like when that relationship came to an end, my brother-in-law killed himself. So it's a combination of, he's on dialysis and all that stuff that he was going through, and his dialysis nurse taking advantage of him. um um Donna, if you're on this live, because you just sent me a message on Facebook, I haven't looked at it yet, so I'll look after this live. Um, so he assumed at first glance in this tragedy that she had killed herself. He calls 911. It turns out she was stabbed over 50 times. And we all who have been part of the wrongful conviction world already know this song and dance that cops get a narrative, and now they just want to make the facts fit the narrative. They're not looking for the true evidence. 53 or 55 times. Oh my gosh. So Pam, who actually killed this woman, because 4 days prior to her death, Pam took this woman to the library and had her change her will to say that Pam, there you are, Donna, hello, that Pam gets the money from her life insurance, and she manipulated her in a way of, well, you can't be sure that your husband would take care of your daughter, so I would be the one to make sure that your daughter's got this money. So Pam killed her for the insurance money. It's not the first person she's killed for insurance, or not the only person, I should say, that she's killed for insurance money. And so when Pam would talk to the cops, she was saying anything and everything to point the finger at Russ. And she set up the crime scene too, where there was blood on like the sides of a pair of Russ's slippers, and threw them in the closet. But there was no blood on the bottom of these slippers, nor were there any bloody footprints anywhere. I mean, it really was a crappy frame job, but this state's attorney and the cops, it's just, we're going to say this guy did it because we want to solve this case and get it off the books. And most times it's a partner, so we're going to go after him. But Betsy, that's her name. Thank you, Diana. But he has an alibi. And how many times have we heard that? Stephen Avery was with his wife and all his children, and they had gone to Home Depot or Menard, something like that, that they were getting paint. And then he had gone to a fast food restaurant, has that receipt that's dated and timed. And so did Russ, Betsy's husband. When he left game night, he stopped for some food and has a receipt for date and time that he was there. I don't know how many people were at game night, but plenty of people who knew that he was there. Yet, we're going to pay attention to that. And we're going to go off of Pam saying that she said that Betsy had said bad things about Russ. And they don't blink twice about life insurance being changed 4 days prior to her death. And so Russ is found guilty. And his lawyer, see, there's bad and good in everything. Went to school with sweaty sweat sweat. I agree, Donna. There's good lawyers, there's bad lawyers. And this lawyer knew this was not right and that Russ was innocent and Pam was guilty. And this guy stayed with it. And he was able to overturn this conviction and free Russ. Pam, then wanting to make sure people are still going to look at Russ, she goes shopping for, what's the word, Patsy? And this is another dumb thing that I don't know how anybody would just take this at face value. And when I was looking up before doing this live today on any updates from the case, I saw that there's some cop from the area. He said he was the first person actually to question Russ, but he wasn't on the case, and that he claims he knew from the start that Russ was innocent, but he's very upset about the the miniseries. Because it's making light of a woman who was murdered, and that it was like a black comedy. But I'm sorry, this department made it this way, that it's ridiculous and a joke. Nobody for 1 second is thinking it's funny that a woman was murdered and an innocent man was sent to prison. The joke is that state's attorney and those cops and that jury. So for her to come up with this thing now of the first woman she had talked to, who got in the car with her, which I don't get. I'm not getting in the car with some stranger. Oh, $1,000. And I mean, who doesn't need $1,000? Yes, please, but I'm not getting in the car with some stranger. I know she put a gun or a knife in her hoodie and everything, but still, it's like, I'm not getting in that car. So that's another wackadoo thing. But the poor guy that she did lure to make it look like this guy came to kill her at Russ's instructions and to steal money, get Russ's money, which not Russ's money. Even if Pam hadn't changed that will, I have no doubt that Russ would have taken care of those girls. Sure, he would have kept some for himself. He's the spouse. So the spouse should be the one that inherits the stuff and then you give to the children, right? He loved those girls. He wouldn't have just abandoned those girls. And when you hear her 911 call, help, help, it's so phony. So stupid. And luckily, this was not the same department on this one. So they know better than Manitowoc does when same person who's involved in one murder case. Let's not have the same exact idiot bumble cops involved on that one. So it was a different cop who immediately is like, yeah, this doesn't wash here. And so she was suspect immediately on that one. Thank you, other cop. But I find it very weird. I, I never really deeply look into an Alford plea other than what we've seen from the West Memphis 3 case that they took the Alford plea and the Alford plea freed them. And I know people throw it in at the Stephen Avery case. Why doesn't he take the Alford plea? And Kathleen has said the entire time, the only people who take an Alford plea is you're guilty and it's a way to be free, or you're on death row, like Damian Eccles was. And, death row, even though death row can draw it out for years that you're not executed immediately, death row itself is killing you. So time is of the essence. So the West Memphis 3 wanted to fight that. James Miskelly wanted to fight it because he's like, I'm not ever going to say I'm guilty when I'm not. But it's killing Damien. So we have to do this. So it's weird to me. And didn't the staircase guy who's guilty also get an Alford plea? Um, so she took an Alford plea on this second murder. The poor guy too that had been in a car accident, right? He was in a car accident and had major brain damage. And so he didn't have full use of his body and speech. Uh, so look at the people that we know Pam Hupp killed. A woman who just got home from chemo, so who is weak, sick, and has been living this horrible, painful illness. This poor guy who's been in an accident, and I always feel for people like that because you wonder, are they all there in their head, but the way the damage is, they just can't express themselves or get their body moving the way they wanted to move. So this poor boy, she shoots him. Oh, it's in self-defense. No. And then her own mother, to get her life insurance, throws her off a third floor balcony. This woman is dangerous and just all about money. How did Pam's husband not catch on? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and they're divorced now, and I think he's remarried and he still lives in that house. I wouldn't want to live in that house. It's like you just want to move on. I don't want to, ugh, I wouldn't want to live there. But I look sideways at her husband, though, of he knows she was taking that money from those girls. He may not think or be letting himself believe that his wife killed Betsy, but that money should go to those kids and not to you two. So I don't, I'm not saying he had any part in the murder, but you knew there was wrongdoing going on there. Why in the world would Betsy want an adult woman who's an acquaintance to have her life insurance and not? Now I know they said that her husband, what was it, that he gambled or something, and that's what they were claiming, that she didn't want him to be the one in charge of the money in fear that he, or no, this is what it was, not gambling. It was that he would be in such grief over losing his wife that he would just blow through the money, because sometimes shopping can make you feel better. So it wasn't even saying that Russ would do a bad thing. It's, that he loved his wife, and all right, I'm gonna buy some toys. And she wanted to make sure that her teenage girls got it. Why would it go to Pam? Another thing that's weird, but not, I guess. So the first woman that Pam tried to trick into coming with her so she could kill her, and say that it was because of Russ, is now, is she married to Russ, or they're just engaged? So, those lines crossing, drying the wet money. He didn't question that. You're right, Donna. Kat, he might have been afraid to speak out. Also true, because if she's going to kill her mother by throwing her off a balcony, oh my gosh. And then the woman wasn't found right away. So when Pam left, she's like, my mom doesn't need dinner or breakfast either, making sure nobody goes to check on her. So let's hope the woman died immediately and she wasn't out there for hours suffering. I I liked the miniseries. Maybe if I was a family member, maybe I wouldn't. I don't know. Because of, you want the serious take on it, I guess, maybe. I found it very interesting. And I know it's just a mini series, so it's not a documentary where we know for sure, well, we don't know for sure, but it's supposed to be based in fact, and there's nothing added to make a more interesting story. But just like I do when I watch a documentary, after I see it, I start scouring the internet to find more information on the case, on what really happened. I mean, and there's just no doubt that Pam Hupp is a horrible, horrible person and deserves to be in prison. And I'm also in fear of how she's going to manipulate inmates. Because something I already saw, I can't remember where, um, was it on the Dateline thing that was on Friday after the miniseries had aired? But there was a corrections officer, jail guard, whatever it was, saying that Pam is stirring crap up in there on, pitting one inmate against another inmate so she can watch the drama and get entertained. And so just who is she going to manipulate while she's in there, stealing their commissary, stealing their phone cards? Um, and Pam did say that her husband had a bigger life insurance policy. If she's going to kill someone, she said it would be him. I thought she said that about her mom, or did she say it about them both? Because I thought it was her mom that she said that was 500,000, which I have found out in reading on that, or it was on the Dateline. Again, I didn't take notes, so I don't remember where I got the information from. But Pam has siblings. So that 500,000 life insurance policy from her mom was divided between her siblings. So not like 100 and something thousand still isn't a lot of money, but she didn't get 500,000. She got 100 and something, just like she got from Pam's was 100 and something. And all you got to do is kill somebody for it. Oh my God. So be careful, anybody who is an inmate at the prisoner. I don't know if she's in prison or jail, because the case against her on Pam Hupp is still going to court, right? That hasn't been ruled on yet, I believe. Yeah. So if you're somebody who has a loved one that's in the prisoner jail that she's at, advise them to stay far away from her, because she's a manipulative one and totally guilty, and there's no telling what she would do. And I know it was it her mom's life insurance that she got? She wanted them to put that in her commissary. $100,000 in her commissary account. That's just crazy. Oh my God, that's so crazy. So I do recommend watching The Thing About Pam and also watching the Dateline episode afterwards. I believe it's all on Hulu. And Dateline had also done 5 episodes in the years prior, but I haven't watched those. But I did watch clips. Cindy says they totally nailed the Missouri vibe for that time frame. Big gulp drinks and connect hillbilly-ish. Renee was excellent. I think Renee Zellweger is a fabulous actress. I know something she's being ripped on too is for wearing a fat suit. And why didn't they just hire a fat actress? And see, I'm just not about that. It's acting. So, and what's his name? The guy that played Russ's attorney. He said, so she's one of those method actresses. So she stayed in character on set. And so he had gone up to talk to her about something. And then, though I can't remember how he said she responded, but he's like, oh, okay, she's Pam. I'm not talking to her right now. Josh Duhamel. Yeah. Because she just stayed in that character. And yeah, her having that big gulp all the time, but I guess that's what Pam did. You can see when you see clips of Pam that she's got a big gulp cup. And at the end of the mini series too, during the credits, they're showing you clips that they did now to show you how good of a job that Renee Zellweger did in becoming that character. Whoa, 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 whoa. So I love Renee Zellweger. I think she is a great actress. And she became this character. If you haven't seen her play um Judy Garland, that's so good too. And that's got to be tough to be, jinx, Cindy, um to play real characters. Tough yet not, because you have that to go off of. All right, so you can imitate that, yet if you don't do a good job, people are going to rip you apart for it. So yeah, she was really good as Judy Garland. And she's just good in any role she does, whether or not it's a dumb comedy, um which I'm not saying dumb as in this comedy is stupid, because I love those dumb comedies, um but from comedy to drama, whatever, even where she and Matthew McConaughey tried to get it pulled, but before they were famous, they were in a why am I blanking on what that horror series is? It's like Jeff's favorite. See, I really think I've got like early onset dementia that I forget these things. The Texas one. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Durr. So Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey were both in together in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre before they hit it big. And then they hit it big before the movie was released, and they were both like demanding it not get released. So, um, so cheesy horror movie. They were both good in that. So Pam Hupp is guilty and is a scary mofo. I don't know what we'll discuss next week. I'm kind of just keeping it open right now in case something happens, because we already had 2 Kathleen Zellner tweets in the last couple of weeks where she had claimed she was going to be filing something for Stephen Avery, and that would have been the week leading into Easter, and nothing happened. So we're still on pins and needles to see if she's filing something for that. And then Melissa Kaluzinski. She tweeted about the Melissa Kaluzinski case this past weekend, not from her regular Twitter, which drives me crazy because, let's not push Melissa into the shadows. Her case is just as important as any other. And she's being paid for Melissa's case. So it's not a pro bono case. You make money on this case. And so if she would have tweeted it from her regular Twitter, then more people would wonder about the Melissa Kaluzinski case. But she's got a Twitter she set up for Melissa's case years ago, because she's been on Melissa's case before Making a Murderer had even come out. So she's been with Melissa longer. And so she tweeted from that over the weekend that there's some new good development in Melissa's case. And so last week I talked to you about my visit with Melissa, because I visited her last Monday, and that I had told her when I was 15 minutes away from the prison, a bald eagle had flown over me. And then she told me that that's good luck. And she had also said at the prison, a butterfly had landed on her. That was good luck. And so and so she was hoping that meant something good for her case. And we both she knocked on the table. I knocked on my head for knock on wood. And, so then in that week, we have a post, I call it a post, it's a tweet though, from Kathleen Zellner's, I think it's called Melissa C. Justice, C for Kaluzinski, Melissa C. Justice. I think that's her Melissa Twitter page. So she had tweeted that like on Friday, and okay, thank you, Donna. I wasn't really online or anything on Friday. And so when I got up on Saturday morning, I saw the tweet. And so then I was posting it. And then I called Melissa's dad. It was like 7:45 a.m. But Melissa's dad is not online all the time, and never I don't believe he's ever been on Twitter. So I called him and read him what Kathleen's tweet was. And he's like, okay, can you please post it on the page? Because he has me as an admin on Melissa's page. So I shared it there. And then I also, on that day, I emailed Melissa and wrote out what the tweet was and sent it to Melissa. And so I just got an email back from her yesterday. You never know how long it's going to take for these things to go, because my email to her has to be read by whoever first to approve for Melissa to get it. And they only do that when they feel like it. And then same thing goes with her response to me. So, yesterday, Tuesday. So I had emailed her on Saturday. So yesterday, Tuesday, I got the email back from her saying, um, let me get it. Let me get exactly what she said. Um, Pause, please, while I find it. Mm-mm-mm. Oh wait, did I not keep it? Hold on. Let me go here. There it is. I'm 50 years old. She says, "Oh my!" 3 exclamation points. Thank you so, whole bunch of O's, much. That puts me in a good mood. And now, I saw an eagle fly past my window at work Thursday. So it's awesome. Thank you so much. So now she saw an eagle too. Oh, and last week I was talking about, she wanted me to talk to somebody about donations, and she says she'll talk to me later about the church for the donation. So now it turns out what it is that she wants me to look into, and I haven't yet, is somebody she knows at the prison. They have no money, no family to help her. And, so there are some churches that will help inmates, and they raise money and they donate to inmates. And so she wanted me to find out about those. So maybe she can refer her friend to that, to reach out to those churches or whatever, to see if she can get some help from them. So that's what that was about. I also, this I haven't, so I didn't post online what Melissa had responded to me. And I also did not post online that I emailed Kathleen Zellner after I saw the tweet. And what did I say? All I said was, I just saw your tweet from yesterday on Melissa's case. I thought you might appreciate this. And then I told her about the bald eagle and knocking on wood. And then I told her I'm going to go back, because I do go back to visit Melissa this coming Monday so I can buy her chocolate. And I said, all the officers know that she's innocent. I'm asked every time I go, when is Melissa going home? And then I just ended it with, thank you so much for the tweet and filling me with some hope for Melissa. And Kathleen responded with, so this is an exclusive that you're getting here on YouTube that I did not put on Facebook. She said, thank you for the time and effort you have spent with Melissa. I know it means a lot to her. We both know she is 100% innocent, so we are committed to her cause. We are much more optimistic now because of some recent developments. Please keep up your visits, and hopefully she will be free again soon. Best, Kathleen. So we don't know if she's going to be filing for Stephen at any point this week still, if we're going to be hearing something on Melissa. So I'm not going to schedule for sure what we're going to talk about next Wednesday at 1:00 to see if maybe something will happen in one of those cases, and we'll be discussing that. Now, obviously, if this stuff comes out, so like if I end this live and we find out she filed for Stephen, then we're going to do the clamoring to get it. And then we'll be coming live again. We're going to do it immediately. We wouldn't be waiting till Wednesday. Jury duty, Kat. Have you ever served on a jury before? I have. Blah. Joyce, well, they actually showed clips of the real Pam drinking those bills. Yep, they did. So, I went for my second booster shot today, and I'm just now starting to feel it in my arm. So we will, as soon as we get it and find out, we go live, we read it. Christopher makes posts on our Facebook pages to try and give people a heads up. But that's why you also need to subscribe and like this page. And I think there's a bell you're supposed to ring to or something. So you'll possibly get a notification of when I go live if it is outside of these Wednesdays at 1:00. We're trying to be consistent. So to find me on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Central Time. And then sometimes I'm too lazy and I would just rather lay on the couch and I haven't shown up on a live. I've been watching the Johnny Depp trial too. Yeah. Um, oh my gosh. I'm not going to get into talking about that now because it's going to take us way later. And I also want to get back to the Johnny Depp trial, but that is something to discuss. It's on Court TV. But I know it's also available on YouTube. So maybe if you watch it, can somebody tell me if you watch it through YouTube, do you just watch it straight through? Because on Court TV, there are so many freaking commercials. That it's driving me crazy. And they do so they're pausing the trial while they go to a commercial break. So then you're also farther behind on what's happening in live time. So I have been considering going, okay, should I find it on YouTube instead? And um and I've been Googling today to try and find out more stuff on the Johnny Depp, Amber Heard stuff, because I don't know all the facts. But from what I've read and what I've seen now in the trial, maybe people want to fight me. I think Amber is the guilty party. And I know there's people that want to do the whole, this is why women who are abused don't want to come forward because then people make them don't believe them and make them the bad person. Everything is a case by case basis. I'm not going to automatically say a victim's a victim, and I'm not going to automatically say a suspect is a suspect. I have to look at everything that goes with it. And it's sounding to me in there that she's just wicked. And there's pictures of her with marks on her face, but and I'm not saying this is right because it's not. He threw a cell phone that hit her face, and that's what marked her face. Still bad, but he's got plenty of marks of what she's done to him, including chopping off his finger. And doctors who have testified have said it was like mutual combat. But then other people who were around, it's she's instigating, and a lot of the times what Johnny Depp will do is he just tries to lock himself away in the bathroom while she's just going nuts. I don't know. So maybe that's something what we'll discuss next week if nothing happens in Stephen or Melissa's case that we need to talk about. But I will be visiting Melissa again on Monday. So I typically, since COVID, have only been going once a month. Before COVID, oh my God, my arm is now, as I'm talking with my arm's a little sore now. I would visit every other week, but her parents aren't going to be able to go for a little bit. Will do, Donna. So I'm not causing a problem by going twice this month. Um, so I can get her chocolate that she gave up for Lent now that Lent's over. So I will talk about that next week too, about my visit with Melissa. So stay tuned to our Facebook pages. If we find out that Kathleen has filed for Stephen or Melissa, we will get that posted right away. If you're on our Facebook pages and you see it before we do, let us know. Kathleen, since this in Stephen's case is going to be her filing, she usually puts her filings up on her website. So I won't be trying to buy it from the court clerk. We'll just be waiting until Kathleen puts it up. So if you see it on Kathleen's website before we do, let us know. And then we'll read it together and discuss what that is. We don't know what the development is in Melissa's case. So we don't know if it's a filing. We don't know if it's something that's going to come out in the news. We don't know what to look for, so it's just waiting for, hopefully something great to happen for Melissa. Kat says, or if Stephen's family implodes. Yeah. Yeah, if something major happened in there in that regard, yeah, we would go live. And depending on what Kathleen files, typically the family implodes shortly after that, because again, all the science and facts points to the Avery family, not to Stephen, not to Brendan, but all these others are complacent, and then Bobby and Scott actually committed whatever happened. So there you go. All right. Well, I'm going to go back to the Johnny Depp trial. I don't know if they're off lunch yet. Yeah, Bobby. That reminds me. Well, I'm not even going to get into that. It's totally off topic and COVID related, and I'm just not going to go there now. So thank you everybody who joined us live. Thank you for those who will be watching this later. Make sure you're hitting the bell and subscribing and thumbs up and all that Twitter goodness to hopefully get notified when I go live next, when we get the breaking news that there's a filing for Stephen, and a breaking news that Melissa's going to be released and go home. I know. I'm thinking, I'm knocking on wood. I'm going to think it and say it into existence. Hit the thumb. It's free. Thumbs up. All right. Was there anything else I want to leave you with? Nope. That's everything. So hopefully you'll be seeing me before Friday, because we want to hear some news right away, because these Stephen and Melissa have been in prison long time, and every day matters, and they need to get their lives back. So I hope you will see me before next Wednesday, and it is to talk about something really great happening for one or both. So, all right, investigation continues. Back to Johnny Depp.